and then run it back. Refocus, run it back. That was not meant to be a Tainted Maggie run. Wasn't meant to be. Play a non-tainted character. Like, the only things I have left to do as non-tainted characters are, like... I have, Jacob and Esau. I got a couple of different things to do. And then I've got, like... Bethany Greedier mode or something like that. Like, it's a disaster. I like Tainted Keeper, man. Like, this is one of the fun characters we got left. I enjoy. Like, I'm not worried people are like, there's like, oh, good unlocks as like this character. Like, Joni loves Chachi, right? But does Chachi give a flying frick about Joni? It's a roundabout Roxburghian way of describing the fact that, like, you know, who cares? I mean, it's good, don't get me wrong. You gotta get good unlocks, but... we're gonna get it all at some point anyway. I take more of a Nietzschean philosophy to it, I suppose. Yeah, and Zendaya is Michi. Common is Stonekeeper, and Zendaya is Michi. Danny DeVito is Torgo, I think. I can't remember all the lyrics. Oh yeah, LeBron James is Gwangi. Danny DeVito is Torgo. Common is Stonekeeper. Great song, man. The enjoyment before a Dorito. Oh, did that video come out today? Dude, I stand by that. I think the best Dorito might be the first Dorito. In terms of the amount of enjoyment that it generates for you. But I definitely also believe that the Zero with Dorito might be second best. Like, the Dorito that you enjoy the most is the Dorito that you have not yet eaten. Because you get the anticipation of eventually eating the Dorito and knowing that you're gonna have that. Dude, that's incredibly good luck right there. But you have not eaten the Dorito yet. It's like probably the best day of a vacation. And this we talked about it in today's Isaac episode. The best day of a vacation is probably the first day after you land. You get settled up in the hotel. You hopefully have like a nice sleep or something like that. That first full day is the best day. All other things being equal. The second best day is the day before you even go in the first place. Because you get to anticipate going. And you've still got all of the remaining vacation ahead of you. I believe this. What's the worst Dorito then? I would say the worst Dorito is probably one of the Doritos in the middle of your consumption. Like, the Doritos at the end are sweeter because of the fact that you know you're gonna get to the end. So you're like, this might be the last one, I better appreciate it. If you're just mindly schmacking down on Doritos, the ones in the middle that you have like no memory or cognizance of in the moment are definitely the worst. I would not say the second Dorito is the worst. You're still enjoying yourself on Dorito 2. You're still like, oh my god, I'm eating Doritos, this is awesome. Okay, obviously in terms of the actual, like, physical construction of the Dorito, the ones that are, like, just crumbs are the worst. That's not what we're talking. We're not taking this from an engineering perspective. We're taking this from a spirituality perspective. Yeah, it's the psychological reasons, not structural integrity. Dude, pencil kind of be schmacking as well, huh? Nah, I've not seen a good counter argument. I'm gonna go Angel Deals, man. I've not seen a good counter argument yet to the idea that you know, it's the middle Doritos that are the worst. People are like, the second last Dorito is the worst because you know it's coming to an end. Nah, but when you know it's coming to an end, you start to appreciate it more. It's the Doritos you take for granted that are the worst Doritos of all because you don't even remember, man. You don't even remember. It's the middle for sure. It's not even close, man. It's a pretty sick diplopia. The Doritos at the end also have the most flavor. Be that as it may, it's not what we're discussing. It's not about the structural integrity of the... It's about the... Hey, give me something. Hello, baby.
How's her outfit today?
Hey, oh, very cute springtime outfit.
She's a very mango, right?
Yeah, she's got the mango colors.
Mango.
Well, I'll take it. Top tier baby outfit, yeah.
Can I get 5 gifts if I make her laugh?
We don't really do that around here. You can make her laugh, we'll all enjoy it. There doesn't need to be like a financial instrument attached to it.
Why do you have to be so forehead about everything?
It makes me uncomfortable. It makes me uncomfortable. Because people will actually do it.
Wow.
Oh, she's looking. She's like, I don't see the subs yet. She's looking at the chat. She's like, the hype train hasn't started yet. I can't laugh yet. Haha. Don't shoot.
I tried.
Sorry, it's not about you. It's about like her being in the right mood to laugh. Sometimes she'll be in this smile mood, and then like one level above that, she's in like kind of screech mode. She'll go, hey! And then one level above that, she's laughing it up. We've entered screech mode officially now.
Chib's in the chat.
Yeah, he's always chilling here, and then like just waiting for his moment to soak up some like dopamine from chat by like misspelling a word.
How come Chip didn't win me the Final Fantasy 14 plushie? He said he will win me a plushie.
Oh, it was in the Tariba Crane game.
Yeah. Toreba.
In Toreba Crane game, Chib, how come you didn't win Kate the Final Fantasy 14 plushie you said you would? He says sorry, yeah.
Not acceptable.
Not, wow. Yeah, if you wanted a Nordic Pingu, I hear he's got a...
You got Pingu?
He's got, I believe, two Nordic Pengus. Because it was so broken that it just like automatically paid out.
Yo. I love Pingu.
It's alright, Chib. Don't send it to us. We have enough.
I gave them to my nieces and nephews.
There you go. See, that's a nice thing to do.
I'm expecting next Pingu is for Luna.
We got enough, like, toys and stuff over here. I wouldn't burden yourself with the shipping. I don't know. We don't have any Ampa Man plates. But we also don't need any more novelty plates.
Dude, I would love some Ampa Man.
We eat all of our meals off of like the same 4 plates, and every time I go into like our dish cabinet, I just have to dodge like endless like Final Fantasy like 14 novelty plates and like chocobo mugs and stuff like that to get the plates that the adults actually eat off of. Hercules McDonald's plates, exactly. Montreal Expo 86 plates.
wants to grab you.
Oh, this baby, she rolls like so much. It's crazy.
She's getting heavy.
Oh.
My arm is very achy.
I hear that. Don't touch my arm, my achy, achy arm. I just don't think you'll understand. Yeah, she loves it. 'Cause if you touch my arm, my achy, achy arm, it might just up and kill this man. Woo! You guys know who that is? That's the guy who sang the...
Rose smell like poo-poo.
No, that's Outkast. That's like an insult to Andre 3000 and Big Boy. It's Billy Ray Cyrus, aka Miley Cyrus's dad, aka the guy who sang the final verse on Old Town Road. Driving around Rodeo in a Maserati sports car. Something like that. That might be like the first one-hit wonder I remember. Is Achy Breaky Heart. It was on CMT nonstop. Back then you had to be on DMT just to watch CMT, man. Canonically, Mason Ramsey is actually the last verse of Old Town Road. If you ain't got no giddy up, then giddy out my way. I'm gonna take my horse to the hotel. I'm gonna...
You just sing those songs to the baby.
No, I'm always singing her like Magnetic Fields and stuff like that because it's in my register.
Oh, she's singing back.
Who? She's like, sing the death of Ferdinand de Saussure, and I'm like, oh, I couldn't possibly. Do 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 do. Okay, hold on. I need to focus, baby. I need some coins here. Baby. Could sing her some Bob Dylan. Baby, you want to hear some Bob Dylan? I'm glad we didn't get a deal. We didn't deserve one. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. You excited for our walk today, baby? Daddy's leg isn't broken anymore.
Hey, your leg.
Yeah, Daddy's functional today. She's like, I don't care. You were gonna walk me anyway.
Where's our automatic push-to-cart electric motor, Elon?
What are you talking about? I'm sorry. I'm not in on the shared lore of this joke.
Maybe because you're too old.
Where's our automatic push to cart, Elon?
You forgot the motor part.
Or you mean like a stroller?
Yeah.
Where's our? We got an automatic stroller. It's parked in the parking garage.
No, like self-driving, but it's like a self.
I wouldn't trust Elon's algorithm to self-drive a stroller. Like, I would rather have the baby drive herself, to be honest with you.
Don't be silly.
Dude, you know what would be sweet? What if we got a Roomba? And then, no! This is the greatest idea. You know how they have riding mowers? What if they made riding vacuum cleaners that like a little baby could sit on and it could drive around, but also vacuum at the same time?
What are you talking about?
This is actually like a pretty good idea though, to be honest.
That's what you said to me. I'm returning your words back to you.
Well, maybe I'll return your words back to you when your stream starts. I'll say, where's my Instacart? Electric powered Elon mobile. Whatever it's called. We got the deal with the angel?
Yo, huge hog.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good stuff. Nobody knows what the other item does, but I'm gonna buy it anyway. Oh, never mind. You always take the mind, man. It's a terrible thing to waste. No, I know what the mind does. I got a big brain. Look at me. censor is better. Probably, here we prefer to keep our games uncensored. Personally, I'm an adult. I can choose what kind of content I need to consume. Okay, baby. See you in 43 minutes. Okay, see you. Ah! Who? I'm alive? Forget the dime, dude. The dime is not worth your life. History is littered with... The graveyards of the world are littered with the corpses of men who died for dimes. You know what would be a sick thing to do? Is like, can you imagine if... like, let's say the afterlife exists, right? Find somebody who, like, died trying to earn, like, you know, a fortune of, like, 80 bucks back in the year 1300, and then just be like, 80 bucks? Sure, dude, what's your Venmo? You died over $80? Are you crazy? Are you stupid? That's like the cost of a PS5 game, and you died for it. Oh my god. You must be so embarrassed right now. What the heck is a PS5? I doth decree this so-called play... I mean, David Cross has that joke, right? About, like, what happens if you go to heaven and there's, like, you know, like, Victorian-era children up there who are, like, you know, just playing with balls and cups and stuff like that. Like, cup on a string, or ball on a string, you know? So I kind of butchered it, but... Like, you go up there and God gives you, like, a home theater system or something like that. Meanwhile, there's, like, a little kid with a cup and a ball. He's right. Things do be changing over time. What if God was a short king? I think Chiblee is 5'7". Apropos of nothing at all. That's just my guess. He can't be tall, because tall people are not funny. That's a given. Don't even know what that is, man. If you were to do, like, a demographic survey, I think you would find that height is weakly inversely correlated with humor. If you're insanely... if you're, like, freak tall, then you can be funny. However, if you're just like, I'm just a tall guy, you're not funny. Because you didn't have to be funny. Humor is the way, like, you distinguish yourself socially from a young age when you're not, like, distinguished as a result of your appearance to begin with, I think. You're like, well, I'm not getting any attention on the basketball court, so I gotta, like, start using my brain to make people, not you again. To make people laugh. That's why, like, there was no handsome stand-up comedian until Dane Cook took the world by storm. He was a double threat, a model/actor. Yeah, I mean, it might sound ridiculous. I think the most unfunny height you could be is probably, like, 6'1". Like, if you're tall enough for it to be, like, working out in your advantage... you didn't have to be funny. Go do some dunks, okay? Like, leave the humor to the rest of us. Funniest height, I would have to say a 5'10", for sure. And don't even get me started on the funniest hairstyle. .5'6" is funnier? Nah, 5'10" is the funny. 5'10" is the funniest. I'm spiraling. I'm not gonna die. I'm gonna die. And that run kind of sucked. I'm not gonna, like... not gonna deny that, but... a little embarrassed with myself. There was nothing going on in that run. I can't even tell you, like, what items we even had. Larry David is the funniest hairstyle. 100% true. Full bald, not that funny. Bald with the little, the fringe on the sides, hilarious. Actually, like, Horseshoe is extremely hilarious. Dude, that reminds me, so I was watching that documentary on OxyContin last night on HBO. And then after that, an episode of Sex and the City came on. I remember watching that show, like, thinking I was getting away with something in, like, 10th grade. TBS got access to the Sex and the City syndicated episodes, like, 8 years after they started airing on HBO. I remember watching it and being like, oh my god, there's like, they're talking about such risque stuff in this. Like, it was exciting to watch. I felt like I was learning. Because you're not an adult really at that time. You're like learning. You're like, this is how adults talk. Actually, like, just not a good show. Like, every second that I watched of that show, I was like, this is kind of terrible. Kind of. Like, not just... like, oh, Twitter, do your thing, you're canceled, but, like, just not funny, and, like, every main character, even the ones who are supposed to be smart, is insanely stupid and vapid, and they didn't just make one movie, they made 2 movies, man. They made 2 movies! Yeah, I need to start watching Mayor of Easttown. I hear that's pretty good. Plus, Kate Winslet, one of the best actresses of our time. No, come on, I'm walking here, come on. Okay, this run's gonna do it, man. This run's gonna do it. Anyway, the show kinda sucks, is my personal opinion. Also, it reminds me that, like, culture in the mid-2000s is it's a foreign planet. Now, I'm doing it, dude. I'm not scared. Like, Carrie Bradshaw uses what's the word? You know the word I'm trying to think of here. She uses, like, a bedazzled pink rhinestone Motorola Razr. No, not vajazzled. That's a slightly different thing that if the show had still been on when that became the term, they probably would have done an episode on it, but... I don't know, I think there's also something about, like the climate is just different now, right? Like a show like Sex and the City where Carrie Bradshaw's like, oh... Like, one of the episode arcs is that, like, that was on last night, is like Carrie agonizes over the decision of whether or not to buy her boyfriend a Prada shirt that costs $1,400. And you're like, you couldn't put that on the air now. The creators will be getting death threats. Like... And then she's like, I got so many big problems in my life. Like, do I want to marry, like, this handsome guy, or do I want to marry this handsome guy? And you're like, oh my god, just make a decision already. Or stay single and just be, like, the most popular author in New York City, apparently, or something. Like, just get over it. Hashtag relatable? How did they make 2 movies out of it, man? Oh, I got so scared. I pooped out a bomb. I did see the tweet that, like, Gwyneth Paltrow broke down so much in quarantine, she ate bread, pasta, and drank wine. It's pretty funny. So Gwyneth Paltrow, though, she's freaking twisted up, man. She lives in, like, a different world. It's a regular Wednesday for me. I was like, yeah, man, that's like a trip to an Italian restaurant. Gwyneth Paltrow, she's like, I don't even know what to say. I'm not even comfortable talking about, you know, Gwyneth Paltrow. You don't know. She might have some connections to, like, the alien worlds or something like that. Shoot you out of the freaking sky with a laser beam. She's twisted up. A lot of weird news stories lately that got dunked on, right? There was like the news story that like it was like Leonardo DiCaprio is unrecognizable in new Scorsese film, and it's just a picture of Leonardo DiCaprio looking like himself. That was a pretty funny one. I mean, it's a pretty good article. I laughed when I saw the photo. I'm not gonna deny it. Was he wearing shades or something? No, man. He had like a slightly different hairstyle. And there was, I will say, this one's not gonna make me the most popular person on Twitter. But there was an article about, I'm verping. Get out, mom, I'm verping! Okay, I don't know where that's Italian character, German character who verps. Anyway, yeah, we want Humbling Bundle, man. That's the Humbling Bundle, please. Can of corn. I don't know if we can get a penny, honestly. +2 for no good reason. You love to see it. You love to see it. I will do one more play so I can get a coin from killing you. Okay, well, that's a lot. It's not gonna make me the most popular person on Twitter, but there was like an article that was like, after the divorce, Bill Gates says he's only gonna give like each of his kids $10 million. And all the replies are exactly what you'd expect, which is the easiest joke of all time. That's like, oh no, that sucks. But I was like, dude, if you're like Bill Gates, like 18-year-old kid, I bet you're like, shut the little, you know, like, you're like, my parents just got divorced, and then like everybody on Twitter is also like dunking on me for like something I didn't even have control over. I'm not gonna go so far as to say like I have sympathy for Bill Gates' kids, because like, well, I have sympathy on like a human level. Obviously on like an economic level, it's like, you know, a different world. But I was like, man, like his kids didn't do anything, and then like some, you know, basically, I mean, you know what? What bothers me is not that they're getting $10 million instead of 0 or like $1 trillion. It bothers me, I guess, that it's clearly just like, you know, rage bait from that journalistic outlet. That's like, you know, this'll get people clicking. Like they're not. It's just their parents are getting divorced. Why take the opportunity? And then, like, you know, strangers from Missouri are like, yeah, screw them. And I'm like, they didn't do anything. Yeah, but they're, like, still really rich, which is true, but, like, come on, man. I just want to... Please. And if they're interested in giving me, some of that 10 million as the rich defender has now logged on, please just let me know. Bill Gates has kids. That means my man. Dude, what kind of energy do you think got him jumping over that chair? Nobody's jumping over that chair for nothing. Now we're talking. Anyway, I'm just saying, like, I'm not... Bill Gates' kid gifted 200... Not Bill Gates has gifted 200 subscriptions. Like, when people make fun of Bill Gates, I'm like, he's like a 65-year-old billionaire, right? Like, okay, he can take it. I'm not saying his kids can't, but, like, his kids didn't found Microsoft and, like, engaging cutthroat business practices to, you know, like push people out of the industry and stuff like that, and then later reform their image as a philanthropist when it became clear that, you know, eventually you have so much money, the only way you can actually, like, improve your life is to not be hated by everybody in the public eye. Like, they're just kind of, like, along for the ride, man. For now. At least wait until they, like, do something that's dunkable before dunking on them, like, in a moment. Like, I just think back, you know, obviously I wasn't a teenage millionaire. I merely had several $100,000 to my name at the time. Well, it depends who's asking. Is the IRS asking? Like, if I was 18 and my parents, like, got divorced, and then it was also, like, on the news, and then, like, everybody on the internet was also like, haha, they're getting divorced, I would probably be like, come on, man. This is like a sensitive moment for me. Certainly not the CRA. They seem to be unavailable at the moment. Corey, I didn't want to tell you this because you got like the sunk cost already. But I don't know for certain if the Canada Revenue Agency operates that phone line 24/7. I think that they might only be there on business hours, and as a result, you gotta be like, you gotta be careful when you call them. Just my 2 cents. Having dealt with the Canada Revenue Agency for various concerns, both fiduciary and administrative. At 8 p.m. they hung up on me. That's really funny though. Look at this diagonal beam, dude. I live in Vancouver, got my first vaccine appointment today. Dude, rather than be upset, because I find myself carrying like a heavy Alex Jones energy whenever someone tells me that. I'm like, where? How old are you? What's your postal code? Get back here, you're not 40. You're not 40. What's your underlying condition? You know, like, so, where do you work? You're not an essential worker. Get back here. I just gotta remember, you know, that like, it's good that people are getting vaccinated in the vicinity, and then secondarily, I don't know if like maybe see people getting vaccinated, and I'm always like then I'm like maybe they have like, you know, some underlying conditions, in which case I should be like best of luck to you. I will say, like, so every time I go out for a walk, I always see people like my own age, like, I don't know if I'd say partying, but like gathering socially and on like, you know, patios and stuff like that. And for a couple of months, this is a good item. This is a good item. I give him a look. I'm not afraid. Nobody's gonna throw down, you know, in brunch season in Vancouver. So I'll give him a look through my sunglasses, and I'll be like, hey, we're the same age. Pretty cool how you're on like a patio with like 9 people who probably don't live in the same house. Despite the fact that we've had a record number of like COVID cases. And now when I see them out on the patio, I'm like, you know what? You probably have, possibly you've had at least your first dose now. I did see on the news that something like 45% of, pardon me, 45% of British Columbian adults over the age of 18 have received their first dose. Obviously, you shouldn't be out partying like on your first dose to begin with, but at least there's like some kind of deterrent there. I don't care for marbles. I should go to the item room though. I don't know when we're gonna use the Joker, man. Yeah, I'm not down bad on vaccine FOMO anymore. We gotta try it. Because I think, like, the FOMO is... I mean, it's like the Dorito, right? Like, the FOMO is gonna be highest when you're furthest away from getting involved. So, we're, you know, we're closing in on it. I think within the next 3 weeks, I'll probably get my first dose. I'm also starting to have to reconcile the reality of our situation, which is the fact that, you know, we have an 8-month-old child, so, like, we can't go anywhere anyway. So, I used to be like, you know, oh, man, I really want my vaccine so we can, like, go out and, like, maybe do stuff. And now I gotta be like, oh, right, we have, like, a baby that eats every 2 hours, and I'm not talking about me for once. Like, you know, it limits the amount of places you can go, for sure. So it's not like I really shouldn't be in any sort of rush, really. Plus, I, like, work from home, so I should pretty much be like last on the on the list, to be honest. Okay, I will get. Okay, but just get the fires. Take out the fires first. Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's worth it. Worth it. Well, take this anyway. Get out of here. Don't shoot me. Don't shoot me. That's gonna be amazing if I don't die. That's helpful. It's gonna be frickin' sick if I don't die, dude. It's gonna be frickin'... How's the COVID situation? I mean, like, cases are down versus where they were like a month ago. It got really bad like a month ago. Because it was not just like... more like maybe the end of March and like into early April, especially, or mid-April. It was like the 7th wave of COVID. But also, instead of being like, you know, what it was like the other times where it was like, we're in this together. This time it was like, you're freaking it up for the rest of us. And I was like, I'm staying inside like eating pirate's booty 99.99% of the time. I like stop. Don't put this on me, brother. Brimstone bomb? I guess maybe it's just a chance for brimstone bombs. Dude, the pirate's booty, it do be schmacking. You're not joking. I'd like to leave. That could have killed me. Money? Money? I hate this, dude. Kill me. That was almost a good one. Thank you for the money. I will be leaving now. I don't want suplex. It's bad. So I can't leave. I gotta go to the item room. Anyway. Yeah, so it was like a combination of like the cases getting bad again, and then it all almost like falling on the feet of like my generation. And then my generation being like, could we please just get like sick leave? And then the government was like, no. And then now they're like doing it, I guess. So it's like it's a little better now, but looking forward to getting that first jab for sure. Yes. Hey, can we get paid sick leave? Yes. No. Why not? The only thing, and it's such like a first world problem, but the only thing that's like more, that's annoying now, and it's so much less of a concern than like not being able to get a vaccine, or not knowing when it's going to happen, or not knowing if vaccines are ever going to come out in the first place. Just my way of couching this in the idea that like things are actually like not so bad, but seeing... and, like, I hate to make this a regional thing, but seeing Americans complain about very minor stuff related to the vaccine, like not getting the exact, brand of vaccine they want for whatever reason, or that the clinic that is closest to them is, full, so they have to drive an extra 15 minutes to go to another clinic instead. Or even, like, dude, this is not even just an American thing. Like the Toronto Star wrote an article that was like, now that the vaccination effort is picked up so much, everybody's wondering when they're going to get their second dose. And I was like, yeah, maybe everybody that still has a newspaper subscription, Grandpa. I'm still out here wondering when I'm going to get my first dose. Like, come on. Give him my second in September. See, this is like almost the exact same. Have you gotten your first? I'm just throwing this out here. Anyway, I did see that there are now people that are against the concept of vaccines and masks, now thinking about wearing masks to protect themselves from the vaccinated, which is, you know, history has a funny way of rhyming, I suppose. It's, I mean, it's been wild in Vancouver for sure as well. Is a like, I love the city. It does also attract kind of like a little brother Los Angeles crowd, I think, to some extent. It's like the two flashpoint issues in the city over the course of the last 6 months was like, well, along with, you know, rising gang violence, unfortunately, is like this guy in Yaletown who just keeps holding like private parties at his penthouse, and like the cops just keep arresting him, but, you know, in the criminal code, there's not like something that says, you know, hey, if you keep throwing too many private parties at your house, we're gonna like throw you in prison for the rest of your days. So he just keeps like going in, getting out, going in, getting out, and then throwing like more parties. And people are like, can you not? And then the other one is this restaurant owner who was like refusing to abide by the public health guidelines, and then well, let's just put it this way. She began to reconsider when they took away her business license for a month. But I'm just leaving. I still really like that place. Yeah, I've never been. I heard they had good pizza though. It's a shame. But, oh, this is how we died, dude. I need you to thank you. I need you to thank you. Save. Iron bar. Thank you. Oh, frick. Don't take it. Don't take it. There's another place like that was getting hit over it as well. And you're just like, you know, I get it, like you're excuse me. Spare 2 seconds. Hey, drop a fry. You're like, I get it, man. Like, you know, it's a terrible time to run a restaurant. I can't even imagine. But simultaneously, I'm like, I'm not sure if the play was like, get your business license suspended forever. But I can't get in. Anyway, we don't need to go too far into it, but just suffice it to say, like, you know, it's still a thing here for sure. It's on its way. But it's still very much a thing. I think there is like there's a GoFundMe play for sure. Oh no. For sure. I got my first one last week, mid-June. I'll get my second. Again, you know, I'm not mad at anybody else is getting their vaccine. More power to you. I wouldn't be like, you know, hey, can you guys just hang on till I get mine? I'm not mad at anybody like watching that gets their vaccine. A little bit like, I mean, it's one of those things. Is like, is there like a nobody sucks here? Like, I know there's an everybody sucks here from our, you know, am I the asshole? But I'm like, I really should be last in line. But I don't, nobody wants to be last in line. I'll tell you, there's really no reason I shouldn't be the last person to get vaccinated on planet Earth. But I sure hope I'm not. Like, I hope I'm next. Unicorn Stumpy looking kind of schmacking. No doubt, man. No doubt. Oh, got your nose. Oh. The only person not affected by you getting a vaccine, the only person affected by you not getting a vaccine is yourself. Yeah, exactly. Like, well, and like, you know, my family, but again, we stay inside a lot and we have the means to do so and the job to do so. The catch, though, is that, like, I really value my own happiness. More than I value most other people's. So I would... if they were like, hey, we could either give you the vaccine or we could give it to, like, this 19-year-old who, like, works at a grocery store, I would be like, okay, fine. I resent that you asked, but give it to the 19-year-old that works at the grocery store. They definitely need it more. If they were like, it's between you and a 34-year-old who works in an office, I would be like, they don't know what I say, right? Like, they don't know how I answer this question. Because I already drove over here. They're gonna get another one. They're gonna have their they can work at home for another couple weeks. I wanna get some patio time. We got a 0-year-old kid, man. We need to get some mental health support out here. The pharmacist dilemma. Okay, hold on. Yeah. Who should get it first, you or Mouth? I think I should get it before Mouth. Well, I don't know, because I think Toronto's more of like a hotspot right now. But I do live with other people, including a baby. So I think I should get it first. That being said, he is 3 months older than me. So they might give it to him as like a compassionate thing. Because, you know, it's probably getting pretty close to going to the seniors' home. We want to go dark path. Yes, thank you. Thank you. It's been a long time. I did a lot of, like, really bad runs today. Like, genuinely, we have not won a run in the past 2 days. On YouTube, notwithstanding. Mouth do be providing a lot more oxygen to the local environment. But also a lot more sulfur via his flatulence. How many, I would like a second angel statue, you're not wrong. How many, plants do you think you would need? Like, if they completely sealed up Mouth's apartment airtight, do you think he's in a self-sustaining box? Because he's got so many plants in there? No? Really? No chance? You need so many plants? I mean, have you seen his video frame? Like, my man's is like, he's living in Jurassic Park. 12 trees per human. That's to get to an equilibrium. "12 trees. Man, that's a lot. You're not joking. That number is higher. I thought it was honestly going to be 1-to-1. It's another argument against intelligent design. No designer would make a 12-to-1 ratio. The math is like so difficult to do in your head. They would definitely just be like, 1. 1-to-1. Yeah, it's one of those, I mean, there's like a few, every time, it I already know is going to happen on this one because we talked about it, but there's like 3 controversial things that I refuse to acknowledge are actually controversial, and as a result, I don't apologize for talking about them, unlike everything else. One of them is, you know, the efficacy of vaccines as a concept. Another one is, you know, the science of climate change, and then the third one is whether or not, like, evolution's real. You know, you can harbor your beliefs on that, and if it's like a deal breaker for you that we're talking about it, then more power to you. See you later. But It's because my dang university indoctrinated me, man. What's up? All these... I sent my teenager to university, and they came back believing all this science junk. What the heck? They were supposed to come back harboring exactly the same beliefs regardless of what they learned, but now able to get gainful employment. Yo, I did see that in the US they had a like, if you get vaccinated, we'll give you a free beer drive. Like, that is the kind of stuff, like, it does make you lose a little faith in humanity. But, and maybe this is the hot take, the faith in humanity that's lost doesn't just go into the ether. It actually goes to whoever came up with that incentive, man. Because, like, the alternative is not, I wish it were, but the alternative is not everybody just getting their vaccine anyway. The alternative is that a lot of those people wouldn't have gone. So I think whoever invented that promotion, like, more power to you, man. Bro, like, just give me a coin when I finish this room. I deserve it. Thank you. Thank you. And it also makes you restore faith, excuse me, in the humanity of the people who got the free beer, because they held out for a better deal, right? Like, they were like, vaccine? I don't know. Then they were like, how about a six-pack? And they're like, That's why you always say no to the first offer. I've heard that, like, Amazon, someone in chat just said Amazon is giving workers like $40 a shot or something, like, or let's not say per shot, I guess, but $40 if they get the shots. I saw that on the news. Because there was like a huge outbreak in meat packing plants in Canada, and they were like talking about how this meat packing plant was offering like a financial incentive to its workers to get the vaccine, and I was like, oh, I bet it's got to be like $250, $500, something like that. And then it was like they're giving them $35, and I was like, $35? They don't get me wrong, like, they should want to get it for free, but at the same time, like, I don't. So I've been reading this book called Predictably Irrational, and I just finished this chapter about like, you know, the difference between, like, if you ask somebody to do you a favor, they're happier to do it than if you offer to pay them, but only offer to pay them an insulting amount of money. So like, if you went to your friend and said like, hey, can you help me move my couch? They would be like, well, if they were gonna do it, they would be like, sure, no problem. And if you instead framed it like, hey, can you help me move my couch? I'll give you 75 cents. They're gonna be like, go F yourself. Because, you know, when you're thinking about it in terms of, you know, what do friends do for each other, you're happy to do it for free. When instead you make it like in the market economy, they're like, that's not, 75 cents is not worth that. Are you crazy? And it's kind of interesting because, like, the way that, you know, economic theory is based is the idea that if they were happy to do it for free, they should be overjoyed to do it for 75 cents because they're getting something for nothing. But that's not the way human psychology works. And, you know, probably never will be, which makes sense. But I was like, you know, that $35 that they were gonna give them for the economic incentive, I'm like, man, that's like, it's almost insulting, I guess. I would be like, no, don't worry, but don't trouble yourself. Don't trouble yourself. I'll do it for free. No, I wouldn't want you to go through the trouble of breaking out your pocketbook. 75, yeah, do it for 75 cents, but that's it, man. That's it. You can't afford me, hun. Let's go, girls. Anyway, that's all I got. It's an interesting book. I would, if you're interested in that sort of stuff, #1 book you should read, no question. Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. Predictably Irrational also has been pretty good so far. Although I will say, the author equates like every story to dating, and I'm like, shut up. Like in the first chapter is about how like the human brain is really bad at like judging the inherent value of things. So they use anchoring to like, it's easier to compare two things that are close to each other than it is to, in a vacuum, just guess what something is worth without anything to anchor it to. So you're like, okay, that's kind of interesting. And then he's like, how to apply this to real life? And then he's like, well, if you go out to like a dance club, you should bring a friend who looks a little bit like you, but is objectively uglier. And I was like, come on, man, you could have come up with a better example than that. Like, not only is that like a little bit insulting, it feels like just kind of a hell of a stretch. But Corey, if you ever need somebody to go to the club with you, I'll be happy to be the decoy. That joke is at my expense. It's a joke at my expense. I had to. That's not a joke you could make at somebody else's expense. I had to take the ownership for that one. Oh man, but it's a good book though. Sacrifice room for the key. You're probably right. You're probably right. You're probably right. It's probably a good idea. It's probably a good idea. Hopefully you pop out in 1 hit and then we're good to go. Okay, 2 hits is fine actually. Okay, 3 hits, why not, dude? Eee! Banter's been on point for the last couple of days. Dude, I'm telling you, it's the 2-day weekend. Changes everything. Large architectural E. E. Mini-me voice? E. I choose to not die here. Instead, you will die. Too bad you will die. Oh, I'm gonna die here? Hey, got a second? Okay, I need to charge up my I need to charge up Unicorn Stump before we go back in there. Oh, that was scary, man. Anyway, yeah, it's an interesting book. You know, I've kind of gotten out of investing as a result of the fact that I came to believe the science that it's nearly statistically impossible to defeat the market average, and you'll spend so much work trying to do so that, you know, you'd be better off just getting another hobby to begin with. And I was like, you know what? I don't believe you. And then I read like another chapter, and I was like, all right, you have my interest. And then I read like another chapter, and I was like, all right, I'm out of here. So then I was like, you know what? That behavioral economics stuff, that's pretty cool. So I've been reading that, and we'll figure out where that goes as well. After that, after I read all of those books, I've got like 3 more books left in my last Amazon order, and then we'll figure out where we go from there. But Daniel Kahneman has another book coming out in like 9 days. Then we'll see what's going on. Bro, come on. Coins? Okay, I'm gonna Yera those coins. We need them. What happened to indexes that track the S&P 500? No, bro, like we're past that now. Now we're buying indexes that track like every market index in the world. And some of them are in space too, but you're not supposed to know that. He's done it. I've been reading like physical books. I have a Kindle, and I like the Kindle, I think is great. A great device. That being said, something about a physical book, I don't know. It just feels nice to have and to hold. How did I not take damage there? Plus, like, we have these 2 bookshelves that are not filled yet. So I'm doing, like, the classic, like, buy a bunch of books to put on your bookshelf as furniture. But then I'm gonna go a step beyond what most people do, and I'm actually gonna read them. Like, I've read, like, 8 or 9 this year so far, I think. It's not a ton, but it's more than my average rate of reading, for sure. What's the worst form of print media? You know, we're talking about, like, the actual physical medium here. I hate the way newspapers feel, man. The ink gets on your hands. They dry out your hands. Like, I hate them. Magazines, I would do. No, we gotta do Mega Satan, dude. Magazines, they're glossy. Like, they feel at least kind of nice on the thumbs. But like cheap newspaper especially, oh my god. Glossy sucks. Amazing, every word of what you just said is wrong. I don't think we need Lil Brim. I'm never gonna use it. Can't wipe your butt with magazines. Well, be that as it may, sir. Also, like, don't even get me started, man, on the newspapers. They're so stupid. Why don't they just have the stories in order? I know every other adult is afraid to ask. Because, like, by the time you get to my age, you're supposed to know, like, why the newspapers are in the jank order that they're in. You, like, read the first third of a story on the front page and be like, oh, I'm really interested. You turn the page and it's like, oh, you want the rest? Go to page B7. And you're like, what, B? Why is there a letter in here now? I don't understand. Anyway, I don't respect the newspaper. Like, newspapers, digital newspaper beats non-digital newspaper any day of the week. You know what would be a sick bit, though? We got it anyway. What if, on a, like, the NewYorkTimes.com or whatever, when you got a third of the way through the story, they were like, hey, click on this hyperlink to continue. But then they, like, buried the hyperlink, like, somewhere on the page. They're like, hey, click on A79 to keep reading the story. And you're like, A79, I gotta find it. No, I don't care about local business magnate retires after 65 years working at the steel factory. No. Anyway. $5.5. Corey, you still talking about the CRA? I told you, if you really want to talk to Canada's tax authority, just wait till they need to talk to you and wait 10 seconds to call them back. You'll receive a voicemail that'll send a chill down your spine. They turn into Prison Mike. You really think I won't push you up against a wall? He's free. Pog. Hey, spare some iTunes gift cards? Oh, Corey, they didn't ask you to pay in iTunes gift cards, did they? They didn't ask you to send them bitcoins to this address. Because I gotta tell you, I don't think that's the Canada Revenue Agency, dude. Yeah, what about it? They were like, just give us $200 in iTunes gift cards. Dude, you'd save so much money. That's so much cheaper. Your taxes this year? Oh yeah, they come to 1.8 quadrillion SHIB. Don't shoot me, please. You shooting me? Don't shoot me, please. I'm so stoked that we may finally have, like, some redemption as Tainted Keeper. Who oh, no. I will add, it's not really that hard to begin with. I was, yeah, like, where's my enemies, dude? Dude, where's my enemies? We got 42 brimstone bombs. You got nobody to blame but yourself. You passed up the opportunity to suplex Mega Satan. Honestly, I didn't even think of that. All that, oh, just to die anyway. And then come back and totally redeem yourself. Calculated. A simple calculus. How are you resisting crypto FOMO? I don't know. It's a tough question, right? I think there's a lot to that. The first thing I would say is I'm not a financial advisor. So, you know, take this advice with a grain of salt. But, like, I guess the thing with, like, FOMO, I mean, there's a couple of things. One is, like, historically, chasing return is like how you end up getting below average return. As soon as you start to think that you're smarter than everybody else and you got it all figured out, unless you're right, you can be very wrong. And then another thing is, like, definitely there have been times where, like, you know, you hear about somebody becoming like a Dogecoin billionaire or something like that, right? And you feel bad, like you lost something, but you didn't really lose anything. Like what somebody else has in their bank account? Oh, the creep. Like it. Oh, we're back, baby. It like doesn't matter at all. At the end of the day, so I guess it's just like an ego or like a high score type deal. And that's basically it. But then like the other thing is like I don't have I don't know. I don't have like an underlying confidence in crypto to begin with, if that makes sense. I'm not saying it's like a scam. I just like, you know, I've at least read enough that like if I buy a stock or a fund, more likely, I'm like, I know what I'm getting, and I kind of I understand the risks based on historical precedent and stuff like that. Crypto is just like it's random to me. Like, that's not to say that there's not people out there who might have figured it out, but I'm not comfortable with it. I did it to myself. That's good timing though, but we needed something. I mean, the fact that we came back there is something, but Keeper, I thought they said Keeper's Brain. But like, because I don't know if Apollo's here, but like Apollo was talking about how like it's hard not to think that if I like put $5,000 in the Dogecoin 6 months ago, that I could be like a millionaire right now. But like, if you could predict the future, like, you could do a lot better than making $5 million. You could just like pick the lottery numbers or something like that. You know what I mean? Because that's basically the same thing that you're asking. You were not going to take your entire net worth in January of 2021 and then drop it into Dogecoin. You wouldn't be able to sleep at night. You'd have it out like the next day. So that's why I guess that's part of like the end game for me with the crypto FOMO was really like realizing that I'm never willing to take the degree of risk that that people are taking to achieve these returns. So what's the point in being worried about the fact that they're making a ton of money, whether I think it's silly or not?